What's up YouTube? Bedonia back again, and today I want to talk about Lego City Undercover. I know I'm quite late to the party with this one, but I felt it was worth making a video about. I do think this is a good game. It is, in my eyes, it's well worth getting. So the story of Lego City Undercover, you play as Chase McCain, I think it was. I think his name is McCain. Yeah, and basically you start the game off and you're told that there's a criminal called Rex Fury who is out and about again, basically, and the mayor is essentially the mayor has called you in to take him down again because you were suspended for giving up some woman's identity or something. And yeah, you get called in to basically take down a guy called Rex Fury, and that is about it for the story really. There is like extra bits added to it, but nothing major really. You are just essentially going after Rex Fury. Now when you start the game, you're probably going to be thinking, why is this game called Lego City Undercover? I'm not actually undercover. But the undercover stuff does start later on in the game. You're looking at around about chapter 6 or 7, I think it is. And that's when you unlock this costume that he's wearing now, which is the undercover police costume. That's literally what it is. It says Chase Undercover. You got several different costumes. You've got a karate guy costume there, which is pretty cool. Got a construction worker, which is unlocked quite near the end of the game actually. It takes a while to actually get the construction worker one. And they all basically have their own little abilities. Like you can see there, he's playing around on the pneumatic drill, basically just riding that around town. You got the fireman, which I've got actually as a woman. And with that you've got your fire hose and an axe, which I can show you right now. So if you see doors like this, you basically need to wait until you unlock the fireman costume, fireperson costume, whatever you want to call it. And it lets you get through doors like that, which are locked off. You got farmer as well, which I think is really cool because you fly around with a chicken and you shoot chicken eggs. If the game actually loads in the chicken, it's in his hand right now, but the game's not loading in the chicken. There you go. So yeah, you walk around with a chicken shooting eggs. You've got an astronaut, which isn't really used for an awful lot. You get like teleportation things that you have to be the astronaut to use. Other than that, that's about it until right at the end of the game when you unlock the jetpack, which doesn't really do much because you can go about 15 feet maybe. If we're talking like real world, it'd be like 15 feet, something like that. So yeah, not very far. You've got the miner, which has like a pickaxe, and you use this character for dynamite. You've got the robber, which I've actually got dressed up as Rex Fury, so spoiler alert, I guess. And yeah, this character is mainly for a gun that shoots paint, essentially. And this is called for quite a lot within the game, actually, the paint thing. But it gets really annoying because you might do one mission where you need to get it to be red colour and you have to find a machine to change the colour. And then the next one where you need red again. If you're in a different mission, that'll change to purple. And you've got to find a red machine again for the red colour, which is kind of annoying. But it's a niggly thing more than anything. It's nothing insanely annoying. It's just, it does get pretty tedious towards the end of the game when you're doing it constantly. So the gameplay on this, I'd say, basically it seems quite typical for like a Lego game. You collect like studs like these here and bricks. With the bricks you build things like, there's like pickup points where you can go to them and summon a car basically. I don't think I've got enough bricks to unlock it, but this would be one way you can unlock them. And yeah, that would be a call-in point. I don't actually have enough bricks for it, but basically it just builds it up for you, and then you can use it to summon cars with the call-in point. So yeah, it does get quite tedious throughout the campaign with the gameplay because you are constantly switching and changing the costumes. And if, like me, you skip text, like certain bits of text where it's trying to tell you how to play, you'd think that you have to keep pressing the right bumper when you want to change costumes or the left bumper to go backwards, which if you're like me and you've ignored that and you've got through most of the game, you think that's quite tedious because you might have to go through 6 to get to the one that you need. But you can just hold X and choose from a circle, which took me a long time to figure out because I did miss that part of the game where it was telling me how to do that, which is just basically just down to me not paying enough attention to the game. Yeah, even though some of the gameplay does get tedious and it does feel quite basic, like the combat mechanics really basic as well. It's just basically you press the punch. I know it's not letting me punch because I've got a gun, well, a grappling gun, but yeah, press Y to punch, and that's about it. You can counter enemies, you can grab enemies and throw them. But yeah, it's very minimalistic, the combat in this game, and weapons don't seem to do anything. Like your guns and stuff don't actually really affect the enemies. Unless you're the firefighter, the water does actually affect them. Basically, it gets tedious more towards the end of the game because while you're running through the game, you're looking at about 10 hours before you've unlocked everything if you're going through the campaign. Unless I'm very slow, it took me about 10 hours to get to that point, 12 hours maybe, to get to the point where I'd unlocked everything, and that's where it starts to feel a bit tedious. But up until that point, it's actually quite enjoyable to play. It is good fun. I mean, I'm 25 and I did not expect to actually really like this game being a Lego game. I've never been one for Lego games, to be honest. They're mostly based off movies, and they're typically movies that I haven't watched or I have no interest in. So with this game, I wasn't sure what to expect. But I tell everyone that I speak to about it that it's like a family-friendly GTA, which essentially it is. You can like walk around and just rob cars, and you can't kill anyone, but you can steal cars and just drive around, and you can run people over, but it doesn't actually kill them. It just flattens them, and then they get back up. But yeah, it's basically a family-friendly GTA, which does make it fun if you're into that kind of thing. And yeah, basically as you're getting towards the end of the game and you find that it's getting really tedious, you've played that much that you're determined to finish the game. So you're not just going to quit out and be like, no, I'm not finishing this because it's tedious. You've got to a point where you're like, there can't be much longer left. It must only be another few hours. And then, well, the story's quite kind of gripping, essentially. It's quite engaging. I did quite enjoy the story as well. So even though it seems very basic from what I've said, there are a lot of things within that small story that kind of make it a bit more enjoyable because there's quite a bit of variety throughout the story. And of course you've got some very cringy moments, which I've had family members say they would not play it because of those cringy moments. To me, they've mostly been funny moments, and half the time I've not really got the reference because I'm not really a big movie guy, and a lot of the cringy stuff seems to be movie references. There was one that I really did enjoy, which is the construction guy who puts on like an Arnie accent, like a "get to the chopper," like that. I thought was really really cool, and just the way he spoke was like Arnie, and yeah, that was really good. I'd say basically if you're on the fence about buying this game, you're gonna get about 20 hours out of the game, at least. I mean, I've finished the story now, and it's took me about 15 and a half hours to get to that point. There is quite a lot of extra content to do. You've got things like races. Once you finish the game, you get 2 extra missions, which are at the police station. Yeah, there's basically 2 cars that you can take, and you've got to. I only did one of them, and one of them was get the car to a garage, basically, like steal the car, essentially, even though you're stealing it from a police garage. As a police officer, I don't know, I didn't really understand. But yeah, there is quite a lot to it. I've only done 21.6% of the actual game, and I have finished the story at this point. You've got all the gold bricks to collect. I've only got 37 out of the 450 that are in the game, just from doing the story, so there is a hell of a lot more to it. You've got the red bricks, which you collect to get the red brick cheat codes. Well, red brick cheats, they call them, but to be honest, it's things like studs times 4, attract bricks. I haven't got many of these because I haven't really got that many of the red bricks. Costumes off, which, to be honest, all that I noticed that did was take the helmet off, or the head disguise. So you're just left with like a plain Lego head. Not much to it, but there is quite a lot to do on this game. You've got all the unlockables. You can go around collecting all the red bricks, collecting all the yellow all the costumes as well, of which there are 305 and I've only got 35, so yeah, there is quite a lot to do. Overall, I did really enjoy this game, and I do think it is worth a buy. Now, it was a little pricey when I bought it. I paid £45 for this game, but I'm sure you can find it much cheaper by now, especially. And I just bought it on impulse, basically. And I bought it on impulse, but to my surprise, I have actually quite enjoyed it. I was not expecting to enjoy it at all, but I did. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, as that really helps me out, especially if you enjoy the content. And leave me comments down below. I will be sure to reply to any comments. And if there's anything you want me to look at Switch-wise, games, accessories, anything like that, leave a comment down below saying what it is, and I'll see what I can do. And if I can get hold of it, I will put a video up as soon as I can.